The New Orleans Pelicans earned an impressive 117-106 victory on the road against the Minnesota Timberwolves to extend their winning streak to 4 games. With the win, the Pelicans' record improves to 21-14, and they currently sit 6th in the Western Conference. The Pelicans were on a back-to-back and went into Minnesota to beat the Timberwolves, handing them just their second home loss of the season. The Pelicans have been surging as of late. They've won 9 of their last 12 games. And over that span, since December 11th, they're 6th in offensive rating, 2nd in defensive rating, and 2nd in net rating per cleaning the glass. What's going on, everyone? It is Luca here, back with another video. On this one, I'm going to be talking about the New Orleans Pelicans and why they are a sleeping giant. If y'all can do me a favor, please hit a like on the video. It helps it a ton. And also, please subscribe to the channel for more Pelicans and NBA content just like this. I've been meaning to talk about this Pelicans team. They have been one of the most exciting teams in the NBA, especially when they are healthy, and they are coming off a big-time win over the #1 seed in the West. Zion Williamson led the Pelicans in scoring with 27 points. He had 6 assists and 4 rebounds. McCollum chipped in with 24 points, 5 assists and 3 rebounds, and Brandon Ingram had 19 points, 7 assists, and 4 rebounds. Zion started the game 3 of 3 from the field. He scored 9 in the quarter, while the team shot 61% from the field. The Pelicans scored 16 of its 27 first quarter points in the paint. And then the Pelicans defense stepped up in the second quarter and allowed just 22 points. It was the second game in a row where the Pelicans held their opponents to less than 50 points by halftime. The New Orleans Pelicans cruised in the fourth quarter and were able to rest their starters early, as the team also improved its record this season to 7-0 when Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, and CJ McCollum all have 5+ assists. They've done it in 4 straight games. The Pelicans out-rebounded the T-Wolves 41-28, and they just dominated the best team in the West in many facets of the game. The New Orleans Pelicans now have the toughest strength of schedule in the NBA for January, so they will truly be tested. And they will be taking on the Clippers at home tomorrow, and then the Pelicans hit the road for 5 straight games, with 4 of those teams with a winning record. So this team is going to have their work cut out for them. However, if the Pelicans continue to play as they did against the T-Wolves, they're going to be just fine. Now, the turning point of this Pelican season was when they suffered an embarrassing 44-point loss to the Los Angeles Lakers in the play-in tournament. Since then, this team has been playing with much more poise, much more belief, and they have just been more focused. And since that loss in Vegas, the Pelicans are 9-3 with 7 double-digit wins. It's like something went off in this team. Losing to the Lakers the way that they did, they have looked completely different since. Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram have been the steady stars for the Pelicans, and we know as long as they're healthy, especially Zion, this team is going to be a problem to deal with. It hasn't been the staggering numbers that these stars have been putting up. It's more about their selfless approach. They're doing all the little things, and they're being more team orientated. And of course, the biggest strength this Pelicans team has is their health, because you look at Williamson, Ingram, and McCollum, guys, they've played more minutes together in December, 193, than they had since McCollum arrived in New Orleans in 2022 of just 172 minutes. They're up to 298 minutes total as a trio this season, and the progress shown as of late shows that this team, if they stay healthy, they are going to be a threat. And you look at Brandon Ingram, he's been especially good with his activity level on the defensive end. He's been solid. Over the last 9 games, he leads the Pelicans in steals with 12 and blocks with 12. And he only had 15 steals and 4 blocks in the first 23 games of the season. So something has switched in Brandon Ingram's defensive focus here. He has just been unbelievable. And then while Williamson and Ingram have stepped up, you can't forget about McCollum. His long-range shooting has been big for this team. In the last 12 games, McCollum is shooting a staggering 48 of 96, good enough for 50% on 3-pointers. And the only players with more 3-pointers during that stretch are Trae Young with 51 and Doncic with 50. And then how about this? The Pelicans are 18-9 in the last 2 years and 12-5 this season when Ingram, McCollum, and Williamson are all available. So it's clear to see if this team is healthy, they're going to be a handful. And then, speaking of health, it's been great to see Zion Williamson play in these games. I did a piece this summer stating that if Zion, who looked to be in better shape, is going to be healthy. He's going to be the key to unlock everything. And, you know, you look at Zion, this is per Andy Bailey. Among players with 4,000 plus career minutes, Zion is 4th in points per 75 possessions at 28.4, 15th in points per game at 25.1, 19th in field goal percentage at 60.2, and tied for 14th in offensive box plus minus at 4.9. So we knew the narrative with this Pelicans team. We knew they had talent. We knew they had a solid roster. You know, looking at their stars, Ingram, Williamson, McCollum, I think they complement each other so well. You got Valanciunas, you got Herb Jones, you got Alvarado, Dyson Daniels, Larry Nance Jr. We knew this team had talent. It was just going to come down to if they were able to stay healthy and show you what they could do together. And right now, this Pelicans team has turned the corner because they have been one of the hottest teams in the NBA. And the sky's the limit for this team. Because when you look at the Western Conference landscape, the Pelicans have enough talent to compete with some of the best teams. I mean, they just took it to the Minnesota Timberwolves. And they have now beaten the Timberwolves 2 times this season. So this Pelicans team is definitely capable of being a legitimate threat in the West. And it's been a long time coming. I know Pelicans fans have been frustrated, you know, with guys missing time and health being an issue. But you guys know if this team is out there and they are playing as a unit, the stars have proven that they can coexist and they can play really well with each other. So hopefully, fingers crossed, the Pelicans can remain healthy. They can keep this up. And we're really going to see what this team is made up of when they do go into their toughest stretch of basketball this season. As January is going to prove to be a very, very big indication of if the Pelicans, you know, have enough of being that team that can make some serious noise come playoff time. I've always been a big believer of this Pelicans team, big believer of Zion, and it's about time it comes to fruition. But this team, they are in fact a sleeping giant waiting to just explode and really show the NBA how much of a force they can be. So, guys, what has your reaction been to this Pelicans team? Do you think they have enough? Do you like what you've been seeing? And how far do you think this Pelicans team can go? If they can remain healthy in the Western Conference as constructed, what do you think this Pelicans team ceiling is? Right now, if the playoffs started today, the Pelicans would, of course, be in that top 6. And I think that's going to be important for them. They want to definitely be in that top 6 and finally avoid the play-in. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Hit a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Plus, ring the bell for more. This is Lucas signing off. As always, thank you so much for watching. I will catch you all again in the next video.